Good evening, fellow ghouls, spectres alike. Your ghost host with the most, Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5, here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs to recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So light the jack-o'-lantern, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we revive and recount tonight's spooky selection, King of the Hill, Hilloween! I tell you what! Alright. Dragon, is this the first King of the Hill episode that we've covered together? Because I know that I did one for Christmas in July a long time ago. I don't remember if you were on for that one.
I was not.
Okay, so Dragon, I guess this is King of the Hill is definitely one of those things where you and I know you're not a big fan of it, and to me it's kind of like one of the seminal animated shows for me growing up. I watched the hell out of it even before I got most of the cultural humor involved in it. So, do you want to give a little bit of a thesis on your feelings towards the show, just to have it on record for the folks out there?
I mean, overall, King of the Hill is a show that I continually, early on, I didn't have any remote desire for it and care for it. But I got to over the years, I've become more intrigued by it. I mean, certain things have appealed to me, and a part of me wants to binge it. A part of me wants to start from the beginning, but I know parts of it are going to be rough, and I'm just trepidatious. It's like here's the thing: I love Hank Hill as a character. I adore him as a character. That's the reason I want to watch the show in part sometimes. And if sometimes I've watched a few episodes and I've liked what I've seen, but again, I think they're like later in the season run and stuff like that. So the point being, King of the Hill has its charm. Certain things I felt strongly against way back in the day. I mean, I don't know how I'd feel about them now. Like, I remember really not liking Peggy Hill back in the early days.
Most of the fan base doesn't like Piggy Hill,
That's what
Dragon.
I'm
You're not
saying. I don't think that's going to
alone.
change. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. But
yeah.
again, like Hank himself has always been kind of like I love this kind of a guy. He lives for propane and his values. That's a guy I can get behind.
Dragon Hank, I feel like is like I don't know. There's a lot of things to love about Hank Hill.
Exactly.
We could do a whole essay about him.
Certainly, and again, I had seen this one before, though, the one we're
Okay.
talking about. So I had seen Hilloween. Again, I've seen a couple episodes, and this is one of the ones I had seen. And yeah, so it's I mean, King of Hill looks like it's better than I probably gave it credit for, and yeah,
Well, with Halloween, all I can say is that this one's a classic, man. I vividly remember this one from my childhood. The image of Hank in the devil costume. The funny thing about it, Dragon, is that I kind of remember the devil costume thing being more like him going around town, like causing hell and like banging on people's doors and stuff. Like I kind of had like a little bit of a mismemory of that actual scene, but it's a good scene nonetheless. But I kind of remember Hank being a little bit more disruptive. But regardless, Dragon, I feel like this episode kind of like plays into one of King of the Hill's strengths. Besides, I feel like the Alley Gang, Dragon. Would you say that the Alley Gang in general, they're a good set of characters and they kind of anchor the show?
oh, so that's their nickname, the Alley Gang. That's what they're.
I'm just throwing that out there because they hang out in an alley,
Oh,
Dragon.
so you mean you've never? It's not like an official thing.
No, it's not official terminology. I'm just
Oh.
like that's.
Well, yeah. Basically, Hank and the guys is the reason I would watch the show. Mainly Hank, but again, I kind of like the assortment at times. They're quite, they're
Sure,
fun.
sure. So in that regard, Dragon, I feel like this show has um, a strength when it comes to standalone characters. When it comes to characters who are only in an episode, maybe two, but they get really fleshed out and they're really memorable. Mostly on the antagonist side of things. And Dragon, this episode's got one of the best ones, which we'll get to.
Right.
But I like to call this brand of antagonist for King of the Hill, and they did this type of character a lot. Dragon, I like to call him the Proto Karen.
Ah,
They
that's
were
not gonna land.
Karens. They were Karens before Karens were a thing.
Certainly, that's not gonna land you in any hot water.
All right, so Dragon, you ready to get right into it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we start the episode off. They're doing a chalk outline of Dale, cigarette in his mouth and all. Hank doesn't like it because the cigarette makes it look like Dale's tongue is sticking out.
Let me try it again. I can be deader. So you can tell what is it, season one or this season one or two?
Early season two. Early
Right,
season
it
two.
is.
Season
Okay,
two,
that's
episode 4.
you can kind of tell. It sounds like you can kind of tell in the voices. Like Dale's still a little reined in before he gets like fully woo, that sort of thing.
Huh.
And for like John Redcorn, like that sort of stuff.
John Redcorn. Right.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. We're okay. Anyway,
My favorite thing about that John Redcorn thing is that he actually loves John Redcorn.
I know. That's the few things I have seen. I kind of saw most. I get the gist of the John Redcorn. I get the gist of I think of at least a portion of things at King of the Hill. Like
Right.
Fair, the idea of the whole sun and everything. That whole anyway. Okay, so Hank and the gang they're preparing decorations.
They're digging Wedge's City up here, man. Well, it's a small price to pay, Boomhauer. I'm the general contractor of the school's haunted house, and it's my responsibility to bring this job in on time, under budget, and over scary.
That's what I'm saying. I love that Hank's a guy. He wants to do a job right, but also he wants to do it scary. He wants, again, he's scary. It's not just doing willy nilly. He's trying to do it proper.
I love Bill's costume, by the way. He's got the axe in his head, the fake axe with blood around it. He said, I got myself a wedgie too. Funny you mentioned that, Hank.
Of course, the wonderful Stephen Root.
Oh, of course. But to me, Stephen Root will always be Bill Dauterive, Dragon.
I mean, that's his most iconic. Like it's that and Bubbles. When I think of him doing his voice roles, are always the two that come to mind. I mean, Bubbles, bear in mind, not kind of more of a cuckoo's nest sort of role, like Bubbles.
All right, so Piggy beckons Hank to dinner, but Hank beckons her to the garage, and then jump scare. Dragon, I love that they have a name for this witch. They call her Agatha.
Yep, Agatha the witch. Oh yeah,
that's great. Yep. Gotcha. Oh, that just took a year off of my life, I think.
So we establish Hank's goal early in this episode. Hank is a very simple goal, as he tends to do. He aims to give Bobby a perfect Halloween like he had as a boy.
I'm gonna scare those pants off those kids, I tell you what.
So then we have the full flashback and the big foreshadow for Act 3.
Oh, this flashback is delightful.
It is. So of course we have very Peanuts-esque music in this flashback.
Absolutely Peanuts-esque music, yeah, in a couple places in this episode.
Yeah, which I mean they bring it back later on. Again, we're kind of setting up Act 3, so it's kind of where it comes back with big time. So it's kind of our nostalgic Halloween theme.
Okay, so oh my god, the costumes are so perfect, Dragon. The costumes are so perfect.
This cute kind of imagining of the younger version of the alley gang of the King of the Hill gang, where you have Hank as the devil, as kind of the leader of the pack. That devil costume gonna come back big time. Dale's a hippie. Let's see, Bill is a prisoner, like a prison uniform. We have Boomhauer as a ghost.
Okay, so the things I want to point out are that I feel like specifically Dale, Bill, and Boomhauer's costumes fit their personalities perfectly, Dragon. So you've got Dale as the hippie, so of course he's anti-government.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Bill with the ball and chain, and of course his big character trait is his divorce and his ex-wife. And then you've got Boomhauer as the ghost, because Boomhauer is just kind of like hanging out in the background most of the time.
Of course, very.
I think it's kind of fits.
Sure. Anyway, so dang on Boom Man, says Boomhauer.
Boo man.
Let's see. Of course, Dale's
dang on Boo man.
Dale's asking for, you have any candy cigarettes? And does no, but I got chocolate bars. And not only does she have chocolate bars, Tiki, and we always kind of talk about this in the Halloween specials with the candy and everything, but not just candy bars. We're talking like legit giant candy bars from the olden days. I mean, big
size, baby.
Yeah, big old, the full size, man. Yeah. I'm saying they look like double full size, man. Because I mean, if you look proportionally at the hands, like, these are giant chocolate bars. Okay, so presumably you think, hey, that's a victory, right? But only one.
Then the Peanuts music starts playing as they egg the house and toilet paper the house.
And we reveal as they knock the mailbox down before they run to the next house, it says the Hills. And again, if you notice, and again, this is me going to like a little fresh, is that I noticed that woman who answered the door looks remarkably like Hank Hill in a dress.
Oh
Remarkably. But I was like, I mean, it's gotta be, right? But then I'm like, yeah, why would TP and of course, we go, oh, that's the joke, the Hills. Like, come on, let's do the Hills house next. And we have this great, this is what I'm talking about. The show has great humor with Hank with moments like this. Where he says, I think I'll go call my mom.
Oh God.
Where he's thinking nostalgically, and also it kind of sets up the thing for Act 3. So he's going to call his mom because he feels a little guilty, but also in the spirit.
All right, let's see. So Peggy's going to land. Megalomart's got a special.
Megalomart, kind of a big staple of King of the Hill.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of big stuff. Remember, like the big explosion thing happens there, doesn't it? Or someone that gets.
Yes. There's a big explosion. Buckley gets killed off.
Yeah, right. That's the guy. Okay.
Dragon, do you remember? Did you ever see the episode where they're stuck in the Megalomart with Chuck Mangione, and it's played as a horror movie?
I don't think I did.
Oh man, it's great. Anyways.
Okay, so Peg, she invites Luann to come, and Luann can't because she's got her youth fellowship meeting to go to.
I love this delivery, but for some reason, this line just makes me chuckle. We're gonna go deliver a hot meal to old people and then blow on it.
It's Brittany Murphy was Luann, wasn't she?
Yes.
Course,
probably her most iconic role.
Yeah, gone before her time, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's this offer of like if you buy 2 masks, they punch out the holes in the face for free. God, the rustic charm. Okay, so Bobby, basically they're also taking Bobby along to look for a Halloween costume, and they're like looking through, and then we have some of the real funny stuff with Hank here. What about a Dalmatian? Costumes are supposed to be scary.
How was the Dalmatian scary? They could bat you,
and of course,
9 times out of 10 they go right for the groin, says Piggy.
Yep. And then now here's the money line for me. One of the money lines here where Hank's like says, "Where are the vampires and ghost and what's the vampires
and monsters?
Vampires, monsters, and ghosts." And then we have this at the game. He says, "Elmo, Aladdin, Jenny McCarthy."
I don't even know what these things are.
Oh God, it's just the simplicity of this.
I also love the fact that we get an Aladdin reference.
I know, right? Like, how rare is that? I mean, like,
right.
We have like a at the time then topical Aladdin reference. I don't know.
From a studio that at the time wasn't owned by Disney.
I know, right? It's trippy. Very trippy. I just love the rustic. I just love the simplistic charm of Hank Hill when he's just puzzled by the world, and he was a very simple man.
Dragon, I feel like today's generation would call him a boomer, but like there's so much more dimension to him than that, I think.
There is.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. Back at the fellowship meeting. Long story short, we meet Junie Harper, voiced by, if I'm correct, Sally Field.
Junie Harper is the type of character I'm talking about, Dragon, where I believe she's only in this one episode. She might pop up here and there.
She feels like a oneer, but I don't know.
But she makes an impression, doesn't she?
That she does.
Like, you really just loathe this woman.
Absolutely. I mean, I get it. And that's the thing, King of the Hill also kind of turns me off sometimes where I'm afraid, I'm going to hate some of these characters. Like, I remember, like, the first episode.
Like I said, Dragon, a lot of them are women, like, are not women specifically. There's a lot of, let's spread the gender opportunity around.
I'm going back to, like, the first episode. You have the guy who thinks that Hank Hill's abusing his son, like, that whole...
Oh, God. That first episode doesn't hold up
well. That's what I'm saying. That's the one that's what turns me off to the binge. Like, I don't know.
You know the thing that always gets me about that episode? they try and bribe Bobby to go live with another family because the other family has a pool.
God.
And I'm like, that's always stuck out to me, Dragon. That's always stuck out to me as like a really
That's not
dick
right.
move.
Okay, but yes, I hear you. So the point being, we're making quite an impact with the Sally Field character. Quite the opposition for Hank Hill's very innocent view on Halloween. We have the very which again seems to be one of the strongest things the King of the Hill has going for it. We have Hank Hill's philosophy versus an ideology of another character, where this case.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of one-off characters that kind of challenge that in a lot of different fun ways.
Certainly. So basically, Junie Harper here, she's kind of brainwashing people with this anti-Halloween lesson
Oh,
that
she
she's.
goes straight for Luann, man.
Yeah, she
Like
does.
she recognizes Luann immediately as a mark,
I
essentially.
love the blind hypocrisy of this
Oh,
character. I love how she essentially is more devilish than everything she's preaching against. When you really think about it, she's
definitely.
leeching on to Luann. She's brainwashing Luann, turning her against her family and everything, and then technically, and she's kind of like a really mean-spirited kindergarten teacher when you really look at her. She's pulling out logos and props, which I would have absolutely gone for as a kid. Like, oh my god, she's got props! Look at that. He like pulls out the witch logo, and I gotta admit, if you were an innocent like Luann, at least you pay attention. Again, you hopefully you'd be smart enough to deny. Okay, this lady doesn't know what she's talking about, like satanic. I don't get where she's nuts, man. But no, she's pulling out a witch logo. What is this? A witch? Yes. So basically, she butters up Luann as very school teachery,
Like
and
she can
what.
pretty much tell Luann lacks self-confidence and just latches on to any compliment she's given, and that like right away it's like, oh, I'm gonna just dig my hooks into that.
Oh yeah. And what holiday? What's the holiday for witches, goblins, and Satanists?
Halloween? Very good, Luann. You answered that really quickly.
So again, Luann's very flattered with the easy answers and everything, and just despicable what Junie's doing. Just despicable. All right, so back to the Megalomart. No costume for Bobby yet, but they got treats. And again, I like the arc with the costume, where again Bobby's hunt for a costume, and it's kind of like a marking of destiny, so to speak.
Mhm.
All right, so what are
So let's see. We
the
have
bad
like
chances?
sugar-free fun bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Eat Wells.
Peggy, this stuff isn't for trick-or-treaters. It's for diabetics.
Such a great line. These are not for trick-or-treaters. They're for diabetics. And of course, Peggy Hill's like imagining she's gonna be left over with the candy, and she's gonna be picking out on it. So it's like, I'm not gaining 10 pounds like last year. And of course, Bobby's just kidding. Of course, the wonderful Pam Moulton as Bobby. Then don't eat it. Leave it there. No one said you could have my candy anyway. Bobby cares very much about the candy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. The lesson continues back at
Oh
the.
dear God! Oh, this is just ridiculous. Like by the light of the jack-o'-lanterns, they danced.
So the ancient druids celebrated by the light of the jack-o'-lanterns and by eating babies and.
Which, first of all, it's just ridiculous to think that ancient druids had jack-o'-lanterns back there. Jack-o'-lanterns are a pretty, they're not like super new, but they're a pretty. I'd say they're about as new as like the modern day version of Santa Claus, which is roughly about 100 years old.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I could buy that. 80
But
to 100 years, I'd buy that for the jack-o'-lantern.
right, but ancient druids, no. All
Yep.
right, so Act 2, boy, I'm sure glad your grandma kept my costume. Just like, right at the start of Act 2, just like, here's the thing that we're going to have for Act 3, folks.
I love the ticking clock with the days, by the way. So it's
I do too.
Wednesday, October 29th. So we're ticking to the big moment again, kind of little Chicago 7-esque, if you will.
Oh, Chicago! I have things to say about Chicago.
I know you do.
Anyways.
Okay, so he passes down the devil costume to Bobby again, kind of the destiny of the costume here. And he tries teaching Bobby the devil laugh.
Whoa!
I love it. It kind of sounds like the wah.
And then Bobby gives a more high-pitched laugh. Well, it was disturbing.
It was disturbing.
And then, oh god, Luann comes in. Everybody, I have terrible news. Halloween is a satanic holiday. It was invented by the Druish.
That's so the Druish. And then Peggy chiming in with, "No, no, honey, not Druish, Druids."
Oh god. And then, of course, Hank is just like, where did you hear that nonsense? I just love how right away Hank is just like, he's got his, he basically does a face palm Dragon.
Yeah, I love that Hank just doesn't put up with any of it. I love that Hank's just like, he's shooting from the hip on this one. Like, who told you this garbage?
Dragon, and that is going to underline one of my favorite things about this episode. Usually Hank Hill is the character with the stick up his ass.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Not all the time, but like a solid 80% of the time. And Dragon, this episode is like, I feel, the highlight episode of like Hank Hill absolutely being the anti-authority figure, which is fucking wonderful. It's so nice to see him in that role.
Yep, the rebel without a cause.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why this episode's always stuck out to me as much as it has.
Sure. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I love that Hank's sticking by his principles. In this case, the principles are of Halloween, which means, he loves the holiday. Therefore, he can, he can cut a little loose there,
Right.
All right, so okay. It's point being, Luann's coming to like Chicken Little, saying the sky is falling, and only the things that are falling are Satanist.
Chicken Little has become a very bizarre running joke in 1986. By the way, Dragon, it's taken on a life of its own.
Wait, really?
Yes, apparently Buck Cluck is our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, that's just sick and wrong. Okay. So, anyways, just like, want to go hang trick-or-treaters are devil worshippers. Judy Harper says so. So, I like just talk about the morals.
I love the running joke of Judy Harper says so, Dragon.
I love Hank's.
Just like, I love how Judy Harper has just like instantly become this like, this like, like all-knowing source in Luann's life, like overnight.
She's become like an alderman, practically,
Right.
So the moral here to me, and you can tell me if I'm crazy, the moral to me seems to be Junior Harper is she's corrupting youth with her own overreaction. Basically, it's like the old adage. She's giving the devil power by evoking his name. It's like, had she not brought up the Satanist thing, I mean, you wouldn't really connect those dots, right?
Right, exactly.
I mean, sure, you gotta look. The only point in giving the Satanist comments, I mean, I guess somebody in a devil costume. I mean, look, it's not gonna help. Like a very simple, example. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, like witches. That's a different. See, I don't know if you know about this. The Wiccans get really ticked off around Halloween. Like the devout Wiccans.
I really not know about that.
Yeah, like they actually healing descendants. The Wiccan. Like remember from the Scooby-Doo movie, the Wiccan.
Yeah, I know who Wiccans are, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Apparently, sometimes there's some actual. I think there might have been some court cases actually where they get really ticked off and they try to sue over like the witches and being taught in schools and stuff and like on Halloween. So that's kind of what this is kind of based on. It's sort of like a ridiculous.
I'm sure they would hate Hubie Halloween, Dragon.
Sure.
I don't know anything about that movie other than it's set in Salem, so I assume it involves witches in some way.
I know as much as the trailer, and apparently some news lady lost her job for doing a cameo as Harley Quinn, apparently. I don't know.
We've got standards here. We've got standards.
I guess. Anyway, so but you see my point, though, just the fact that, again, had she not like made such a rug, she's becoming the point that she's facing, so that's kind of interesting. All right, so Luann here. Halloween is Hank's saying Luann, Halloween is good, clean, fun, nothing to do with the devil. Then we cut to Bobby, of course, like looking at the devil costume and everything. I don't want any more of your foolishness. And again, I feel for Luann, but I'm absolutely on Hank's side. How can you not be on Hank's side with this? And then Peg does what she always does. At least it's kept minimal in this episode. She shames Hank. Shocking. Just just why couldn't you just indulge? She had like a new thing to tell us and and to teach us, and you just couldn't let her have it. So well, she was denouncing Halloween though. Come on.
All right. To be fair, I don't think Peggy is as bad at shaming Hank as like the Cheryl Hines situation with Curb.
Oh, that you're right about that. I mean, no contest. I mean, if you want to use an equivalent, that's perfect. That's just that's it in overdrive with Cheryl Hines. It's always
Yeah.
Sure. All right, let's see. So, I think it's Luann in a tizzy right now. She's consulting her new Lord and Savior, Junie Harper.
God.
We pray to if you go to the Sally Field building, it will come.
I just felt so stupid. Oh no, you are not stupid, Luann. First of all, in the eyes of the Lord, you're a genius. Just stroking that fragile ego, Dragon. Just stroking that fragile ego.
So we have the manipulative pep talk going on here. Yeah, we have. Do you understand? I'm not sure. Satan be gone. You understand? Which that just said that moment tells you, that gag tells you everything you need to know about this character. Yeah, right. She had a point. She whether she knows or not, she's completely lost sight of what she is anymore. This is all she has. So let's see. So we establish that this year Junie Harper's holding an alternative to Halloween, the Hallelujah House, which
I love this, Dragon. I love this because it's a big setup for the third act, and usually a third act of a Halloween special has a haunted house. And I would wager to say, Dragon, that the Hallelujah House, in an entirely different way from a typical haunted house, is just as scary.
You know what's funny? I know you can roll your eyes at this, but go with me on it.
Okay.
Young Sheldon actually did something kind of similar to this during their Halloween.
Dragon, I'm warming up to Young Sheldon. It's a better show than The Big Bang Theory, and it's a better show than it has any right to be. All right, I've watched a couple episodes with my grandparents.
Well, I'm glad you could.
I'm probably never going to sit down and watch an entire season of the thing, but I can admit that it's better than The Big Bang Theory. All right.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean,
I can admit that much.
Well, the point is, it's better than you thought it would be, right? I mean, that's what I'm looking for here, because that's what I was.
I still don't think it exists. I mean, I still don't think it should exist, just based on my principle and my hatred of the Sheldon Cooper character. But, anyways,
okay. Anyways, so, there's a little bit of a Hallelujah House tie in there, like the very religious mother holds like a little.
I'm just saying, did the Big Bang Theory ever have Wallace Shawn?
No.
That's my point, Dragon. That's my point. All right. Anyways,
Wally Shawn and Annie Potts, 2 Toy Story actors. Okay. Actually, God. 3. Oh my God, Andy's mom too. Well, no, sorry. Wait, that's I'm thinking. I'm getting off topic. Let's just refocus.
All right. Anyways,
refocus. That one was the Big Bang Theory. Okay. All right, let's see. Anyway, so point being, mentioning these houses, Luann has a realization like, oh no, Uncle Hank's doing a haunted house for the school. And then, of course, she mentions it, which is now the very devilish Sally Fields coming out here. The school, tell me more.
Oh, God.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, man. Oh, Jesus.
So we go to the gym within the school. Hank and the gang, they're working on the guillotine. Then Principal Moss interrupts.
Principal Moss is a great character, by the way, Dragon. He's a great foil for Hank.
I gotta tell you again, I don't think I've ever seen this Principal Moss guy. Maybe one other time outside of this episode.
He's had memorable episodes.
That's what I'm saying. This Moss guy, though, I like the dynamic he has with Hank. I love the fact that he's just very much like he's a straight shooter, but by the same token, it's like, she's got a lawyer, can't do anything. You know,
right, exactly. Yeah,
it's like any principal character.
Because basically, Dragon, the whole dynamic with Moss and Hank is that they actually went to school together, and so they have a history together, and like you just said, Moss is essentially on Hank's side about most things, but he's usually got the red tape around him, and he can't really do much. So that's pretty much the basis for their dynamic.
Cool. All right, so he's bringing Junie Harper in tow, and of course Dale's told to take his cigarettes outside.
Jackass says, "What?"
I love the look that Moss gives, like, you.
All right.
Anyway, so Junie, basically she makes a stink. Basically, long story short, she makes the stink about the whole separation of church. She makes the argument for the separation of church and state within the
Uh,
school in regards to Halloween, which is a stretch. Let's be honest.
and this woman would be out there freaking like teaching the Bible to kids if she had a chance in school.
That she would. That she would. Again, she'd be with the whole creationism. Well, we see she kind of has a point with the. She's trying to do a thing with the creationism later.
All right.
Anyway, so Moss.
And an attorney.
Yep. More attorney than point, but sure.
Oh God.
So then, like
she's just like looking at like the most wholesome, innocent, like plastic skeleton with a top hat that Boomhauer's putting together, and she's like, "Oh, what's the skeleton for? To read fortunes with a casting of bones?"
No. The witch. Oh, the witch has to go, and Hank refuses outright. It's like, no, I'm not going to take out anything, and I want kids to have a real scary Halloween. Again, he's very innocently wants to celebrate the holiday here, and of course, the House of Horrors is all wrong. It's oh god, it's like a house of what? It's a house of
House of pancakes.
Oh yeah, Boomhauer comes up with this idea of like, how about House of Pancakes?
No, Bill comes up with the idea.
Did I say Boomhauer?
Yeah, you said Boomhauer.
Darn it! You're right. I meant Bill.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm just brainstorming here. Shut up, Bill. Look, we either do this haunted house the right way, or I'm not going to do it at all. So Boss, unfortunately, he has to shut it down. We can't afford another lawsuit, Hank. We blew our budget fighting the wheelchair ramps.
And the left-handed scissors.
The left-handed scissors.
Which is just like, really, of all the battles you could have fought, I mean, really?
Like, wheelchair ramps I get, but... Well, I know, I mean,
the wheelchair ramps.
Yeah, just make the wheelchair ramps, yeah.
Saying,
like, I get why that's a battle that needs to be fought, and I get why, like, you were on the wrong side of that, but left-handed scissors, I don't know. That just...
that one I could... Obviously, we need it, but I'm just saying, out of all the ridiculous things to hold on to, I can get, like, yeah, fight the left-handed scissors. Use the right hand, darn it.
All right.
Go back to the 1800s. They thought the left-handers were the devil. Remember that weird thing where back in the 1800s they would like beat it out of you, like if you used your left hand, it was like the devil's handwriting or something. It's weird.
There's a lot of things back then. All right. So, anyways, Boomhauer, grab Agatha. There's only room for one witch in here.
Of course, they're wheeling her out, and Boomhauer, Bill's going like, "Remember, kids love pancakes."
Well, I don't know. Kids sure do like pancakes.
Then there's our...
This is good end of Act 1. I'm sorry, I kind of jumped ahead with the end of Act 1 thing. End of Act 1 is we see the guillotine, we see Moss and
Junie Harper.
Junie Harper, and the guillotine falls down.
Symbolism.
Symbolism. Yes.
All right, okay. Let's see. So Hank, he's talking over the heart of the matter with Peggy. He's saying like, this is the last Halloween. Again, this is kind of the vacation of it all, the Christmas vacation, or the kind of the Russ and Clark Griswold of it all here. This is the last Halloween I'm gonna have with Bob before he turns into a teenager, and he's not gonna want to do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed to do it anymore. So, Peg suggests a Halloween garage, which again is a good idea, actually. Hey, I want to do a Halloween garage instead.
There's no law. This is a good Peggy Hill moment. There's no law that says there's a separation between church and garage.
That is a good moment for it, yeah. Luann warns that he could still go to hell. The devil. It's the haunted house is the devil's mouse trap because fun is the cheese. It's the dumbest thing ever. Just when I thought you said the stupidest thing, you just keep on talking, Luann, which is a little harsh, but not inaccurate.
Judy says I'm smart.
I just love how defensive she is. Poor Luann. So Peg tries to mediate here and says Luann is not stupid, and neither is the haunted garage idea. Of course, she's gonna have stake in it because you suggested it. Let's be honest. And then when Chris says, but Junie Harper says, then Hank just kind of jumps like, Junie Harper says, last time I checked, it wasn't Junie Harper's face in the stained glass at First Methodist, which is an awesome comeback. Yeah!
Right.
We have some mischievous bonding going on, Tiki.
Yes, all right. It's time to get to the trick part of trick or treating.
Yeah.
Technically, isn't this kind of like the Rocket Power episode, Dragon? Like the night before Halloween shenanigans?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. So he says, Bobby, a year from now, you're going to be too old to want to dress up and get candy. Bobby's panicked. What?
Universal reaction I think we all have. What?
Now, don't panic. Treats are only half of trick or treat. It's time you learn to give as well as receive.
I love that he's turning vandalism into such a noble effort. That's what I love. So
it's a sign of respect.
Are you not going to really throw that, are you? Bobby, of course I am. It's a sign of respect. So they begin egging, initially they were going to egg Dale's house, but then a little light bulb pops on top of Hank Hill's head, metaphorically, where Junie Harper is causing a funk, says, I'm reminded of the Lord, do unto others.
Oh boy.
Like Bobby's questioning the vandalism of it all, and then this is Bobby,
is cool.
Bobby, that attitude is immature. Against the toilet paper the place, and then basically teaching Bobby, how to toilet paper the place.
You need a good twirling arm, son.
You gotta put some spin into it, son. And of course, Bobby accidentally he breaks a poor birdhouse.
Oh, and we also get the return of the Peanuts music in this scene.
Yes.
I love how the Peanuts music, I'm just now realizing it's pretty much reserved for the vandalism.
Yeah. So let's see. So then, now we have that crazy Junie Harper. And what she's doing here, she absolutely brought everything on herself, in my view. Here, what she does here, because she's so crazy. A birdhouse breaks, which is not cool, but still, barely any toilet paper thrown.
Right.
I mean, Hank got like maybe one roll on a tree, and then Bobby is knocked over a birdhouse as far as they go. Junie Harper chases him down in her car. Kills her own cat, her own fault.
Oh, Dragon, that's another, like, King of the Hill does have some very dark moments in it, Dragon, and that is one of them.
The creepiest King of the Hill moment that I mean, as a kid, kind of freaked me out. Bill dressing up as his wife at, I think, the Christmas.
Oh, that's one of them. That's definitely one of them. That's
when I watched. My problem was I think I watched King of the Hill too. I gave it a shot too early. I think that was probably my problem with it too. That was like my introductory point. I don't know about this show, man.
Well, Dragon, that's the thing. It's like kind of what I respect about it is that it doesn't necessarily need to be an animated show in a lot of regards, but because it's not flashy, it's not really a cartoon per se. It kind of like laid the groundwork in a lot of ways for stuff like F is for Family.
Absolutely. I mean, of course. I mean, that. Absolutely. Blueprint for right there. Okay. All right, anyway, so the point being, Junie Harper, all crazy. She's chasing him down, and she kind of spots Bobby as he doesn't quite clear the fence until Hank helps him out. And then the cops get involved. It's the fuzz, and of course Hank says, "Get quick, ditch the evidence," and throw the stuff over throw the eggs of the toilet paper over to Dale's lawn. He panics and he sees a spider. Ah!
All right, so the cops show up at Hank's house. Hank takes a rap for it. The truth is, this is all my fault.
Yeah, we don't really.
Of course it is. This antisocial behavior is a result of your whole family's anti-Christian values.
Peggy takes.
And Dragon, this is where Peggy really does start to get on my side. Like, you got to admit, Peggy does have a good arc in this episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's batting a lot better than she usually does in this episode. Don't get me wrong, certainly.
Yeah. You just hold it right there, Junie Harper.
Yeah, I go to church. I've done my raffles. I've baked enough goods for the Lord. Don't try and one up me. And then Junie tries to quote Proverbs, and she's beginning to quote Proverbs, and then Hank measures her with a better one.
Get out! Exodus.
Get out of my house, Exodus. So I love that we don't know the full like Hank. He took responsibility before they can give like the explanation of what exactly happened. Then she lobbed into the whole like anti-Christian values thing. So
Right.
Hank kind of got away scot free. But Bobby, of course, took the. But I love that now. They're like, Hank's not going to have his son lies. Like, Hank, you tell him the truth, and I'll come clean too. Which is again, I love that guy. So, let's see. You're as he's putting Bobby to bed. You're a Halloween hellraiser, just like your old man. And of course, Peggy's walking like, and I'm very disappointed in you. Wink. So Bobby's conflicting. This is the interesting thing about the Bobby Hill character. I like he kind of inherits his father's moral compass in many respects. So Bobby, he's feeling conflicted. He's feeling a little guilty. Um, we show that Hank also, again, he's not without blame in this conflict. Hank went a little too far as well. He shouldn't like taught him how to vandalize things. At least not like just out of spite too with the whole Junie Harper thing. That's where he went wrong, really.
Dale, like vandalizing Dale's house would have been a fun prank.
Exactly. That's the teaching experience he went with the vengeful thing.
Right. Yeah.
I'll never use toilet paper in anger again. So Bobby grounds himself, and he feels bad when she's like the broken birdhouse, and so good kid. So Luann tries to help, and again innocently she's trying to help, but again she's really turned around the whole Halloween affair. Uncle Hank's a Satanist. No, get out of here. Does he ever make you drink blood? Well, he made me eat liver once. Oh, that's a recovered. That's just getting. It's like it's the frickin' vow or something. That's a recovered memory.
Oh, God.
And then we have like all these clips earlier from the episode with like, where?
This is great. I love this editing trick. And King of the Hill does this a lot, where they'll recontextualize. Like even that pilot episode that you mentioned, I believe, has some of this, where like we see Hank's outburst from the social worker's point of view.
Yeah.
Where are the monsters and the ghosts? And I love like, you're a regular Halloween hellraiser, son, just like your old man.
And then we have like the whole liver thing
It's
too.
just liver. It's not gonna kill you.
And then we have like Hank just morphing into the devil, just laughing. Which every critic of
like, oh dang.
Every critic of King of the Hill and like the whole the Million Moms March Brigade, the ones that hate all the adult cartoons. They're using that as their banner image. They are.
Great. So, Arlen City Hall, what's going on?
All right, so we have like a town meeting going on here. Dale, he's kind of starting things off because again, like the evidence was tossed into us. As I've been the victim of a hate crime. Let it be on the record. Someone hates Dale Gribble. Then Harper comes and she's milking the vandalism for all it's worth. We're again like one roll of toilet.
Satanism element.
Yep, she's really hyping that up. She takes it a really dark step forward. She brought the what is your evidence of the Satanist thing, Junie Harper? And she delivers. She says that her cat got killed, but not only does she just say that her cat got killed, which again she killed it, but no one mentions that. She brought the body in a cooler, just dumped it before.
Yeah, this is pretty twisted.
Yeah. The only way
Dragon, like this is scary, but not necessarily scary in the way you're usually like anticipating for a Halloween episode.
It's also like realistically scary. Like you can kind of buy like someone crazy enough to do this sort of thing, where they bring in the dead pet to make a point. It's like, oh man, it's icky. That's just icky. And of course, it's like oh poor kitty, and there's a point. I mean, they're earning major sympathy points here, which is not good. You don't want to be sympathetic towards that Junie Harper lady.
All right, here's one of my favorite little Peggy moments. Hank's hanging up the Hank Hell's haunted house, and Peggy's just like, although I still think Hank Heck works just as well.
Yep. Let's see. Luann brings about the new Halloween curfew, and like
Halloween is canceled! Hooray!
Oh boy. Yeah.
I just got off the phone with Miss Junie Harper.
Yep, she's
just doubling down on the Junie Harper worship.
Yep, and again trying to get back like Junie Harper, just rubbing it in.
So the city council passed a curfew because the Satanist made her run over a cat. Oh, there won't be any trick-or-treaters. See, Uncle Hank? You said I was wrong, but now everyone agrees with me.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to hate Luann the way I do at this moment, but I kind of do. Just in the
Oh,
moment.
oh, this is not a good Luann episode,
It
Dragon.
is
I'll
not.
say that much. I'll say
I
that
know that. Yeah.
much. Luann is a pretty hit or miss character. I got to be honest
I
with you.
mean, I get that, man. I do.
There's a lot of moments where you feel a lot of sympathy for her. There's also moments like this where she's just dumb as a rock in an unforgivable kind of way.
Certainly, certainly. It's kind of like a Patrick Star sort of thing. Sometimes it feels,
I guess, yeah, yeah.
maybe that's too harsh, but I'm just saying, like the whole half of the time,
Her
classic other.
backstory is so fucked up though that even when you get mad at her, you kind of like can't help but have some
That's what I'm
sympathy.
saying. Even when I'm not, even at the point, like I don't know, there's something you kind of like the character, but it's still like, why she gotta be so dumb? Why she
Right,
gotta be?
right.
All right, okay. So let's see. So Bobby is Anyway, so you'll agree with anyone who says anything. So hell or high water, that Bobby's gonna know the meaning of Halloween. So Bobby's a little worried. And Luann directs him to a place of clarity, which is Junie Harper.
Yep. Oh
So
boy.
now it's Halloween night. It's October 31st. Big night, big time. It's the big statement
I
again.
love the atmosphere, Dragon. Any good Halloween episode has to have some good atmosphere. This is, I think, the scene that kind of illustrates that. The empty streets, the lack of Halloween decorations. I feel like that in itself, again, is a subversion of like this doesn't feel right. You know, we see the jack lanterns in the trash. This is creepy in an inherently different kind of way.
Certainly. So, okay, so Halloween night, Luann's talking, takes Bobby to the Hallelujah house. Let's see, we have like the virgin's joke,
I
the
like
whole
that
like,
she's charging admission.
oh my god, I missed that. Is she charging admission?
Yeah, there's a $5 entrance fee on the sign.
Real? Oh my god, I
Yeah.
missed that. Oh, that's evil. That is evil, man. She's pure evil. She's charging him $5 for salvation. Oh my god. It's a cover charge to get into the big gates, man.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
terrible.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Okay, anyways, of course, like we have like, anyways, after there's like the virgin jokes, which Luann just kind of laughs like, ah, right, right. So Hank and Peggy, they're waiting. No one's there. Isn't one person in town with the courage to celebrate? Is there not one person in town with the courage to celebrate Halloween? Let's see. Dale's on a megaphone, like, "Hey Hank, can you turn off my hose while you're up?" So Junie, she's an angel welcoming the kids. Apparently, she's charged the kids as well, which is worse. Um, and, and then we enter the real nightmare, Tiki. The real.
It really is, Dragon. I love how this again. I love how this Hallelujah house is like a great subversion of the typical haunted house.
I tell you, it scares me more than a haunted house, if I'm being frank.
Oh, it does. It does. Absolutely.
There's a second room.
All right.
All right. So let's see. So one we have like kind of these sex kills display where we have like a little couple like sitting down, and we kind of flip around, and there's the toe tags.
Just makes no sense, Dragon. No
Uh,
sense at all.
just complete. Anyway, then we get to the whole creationism versus evolution display, which has a couple actors kind of enacting a scene where it's like, hey, we're sitting down in dinner. Let's get Grandpa. And of course, Grandpa is a man in a gorilla suit, which I do like. We get doing the old gorilla suit around the holidays thing. It's pretty funny around Halloween. It's pretty funny. But then he eats the baby, eats like the
Oh
toy.
God!
Because again, like
Stop it, money. We can't. It's against the law to teach creationism.
oh god, it's the dumbest. Oh god, I just wish I could see Seth MacFarlane's reaction to this episode. I'd love to see. Anyway, Hank learns the bad news.
Mhm.
Hank learns the bad news as Luann comes clean with Peggy. He says, "Hey, where's Bob?" And he's at the gym. Luann, of course, he reveals that I took him to Junie Harper's place to save him because I think he's like a perennial thing. And then Peggy just comes in there saying, "No, no, no," calls him out like, "You don't do that. It's a parenting decision, man. It's between a boy and his father. You went further than he." Basically takes her to the woodshed big time.
Mhm.
Then she tells Hank the bad news about he's at Junie Harper's house, and Hank's having a sip of a beer, and she brought him to calm him down.
Piggy, I almost spit out beer. Love the severity of that.
Yep. Basically, it's time to do something. Then we have the other money line of the episode here, the other money moment of the whole thing, where Hank emerges in the devil costume from Act One. Full circle, baby, full circle. Well, Hank, you could go to jail. And then we have the line, I knew the risk when I put on the uniform.
All right, so this is the iconic scene,
Yep.
Dragon. Hank Hill marching around in a totally undersized child's devil costume.
Yep.
Trick or treat.
Trick
Trick
or
or
treat.
treat.
And then everyone's taking notice, and then we get the kind of the alley brigade, the alley
Oh
gang.
God, I love this Boomhauer moment, Dragon. Check it out, man. No dang old costume, man. I'm a dang old mom, man, trying to get out of this box, man. Gonna play tug of war, man. Because he's wearing just like a black shirt, like a black
Yeah.
long sleeve shirt.
And then Bill comes out initially as a ghost, but he
Here
rips it.
comes Ghost.
Then he rips it, and then he just like Toga just turns it into it, which is great. It's a nice moment for Bill. So then Dale comes out in a suit and says, "I'm a Washington lobbyist."
Washington lobbyist.
And then Luann kind of redeems. Yeah.
You want candy.
So then Luann comes to redeem herself. She's got like a little devil hairstyle, and she's wearing like some sort of like barbecue fork or something. Says, I love that. I love Brittany Murphy's like sad delivery. Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. In tears, and like now they're leading the charge in costume, and and the rest of the neighborhood, all the adults in costume. I love it's all the adults in the costume.
Totally.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it? It's like the youth within the hearts of the people who love Halloween. So they're all like leading up. They're all like walking down the street, walking to Junie. They're trick or treating at Junie Harper's house this year, Bucko. So then we have this very disturbing car salesman-esque Hallelujah Club. So basically, we have like these Hallelujah Club reps. Essentially, it works like car sales.
I just make you eat the brownie.
Trying to bribe them with brownies. And again, they can't even give them candy. Why not candy? Just brownies. So Bobby, he takes it mainly for the brownie, but he takes it because he's feeling guilty. So he sees signs, and they're like, "Hey!" And then Hank arrives, and the big climax, as it were. So Hank arrives with the whole gang, trying to win Bobby back. This is of course after the whole like, the devil says like, "Bobby, it's me." Of course, like,
come on, son, let's go trick or treating.
Yep, and Bobby basically has kind of a literal angel. They have this awesome shot. It's a literal angel devil moment where we have Junie Harper on one side in the angel costume and Hank on the other side in the devil costume, which is just perfect. And of course Hank here very responsibly. Look, I don't want to force you to choose. I just want to have Halloween with my son. It's tearing my heart out, and he does a few tricks here. He pops out a little fake squishy heart.
Mm-hmm.
I have to hand it to you, or something like that. And he pops out like an egg for his eye. Yep. Halloween's no fun without you. So then we have the Angel Devil shot, I guess. And then this is like Bobby interjects in the tug of war for his soul. He says, I don't care about candy. I just want to be with my dad. Which, how does that not bring a tear to your eye? All the kids leave, and then Junie Harper's, and to show you how far gone she is. There's more room in heaven for me.
Right.
Then father and son are walking down there. Hank's all optimistic. We're gonna scare you up a costume, and Dad, I was just kidding before. I really do care about the candy. Yeah, that's the episode.
Yeah. All right. I love the crowd shot, Dragon, at the very end with all I love the old man in the superhero costume running by the camera at the very end. That's a
Yeah,
nice touch.
it always stuck out to me on the rewatch too. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, I like that because it kind of like it's a nice symbol for like the young at heart. You know what I mean?
yeah.
All right, so final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Again, I like that this episode's fundamentally it's a father-son story. It's kind of like it's also a generation story about how society takes pot shots at the beloved traditions and institutions like Halloween these days. Again, I mentioned the whole Wiccans versus witches thing is like a real life example of how ridiculous this sort of argument can get sometimes. I'm always in for Hank Hill, man, when it comes to King. I always am. So this is a fun one for sure. It's a nice full circle payoff. Hank fighting for what he believes in and his family. It's a great take on the Halloween, the holiday, instead of like Halloween, the event itself. Because think about it, the episode's not about like actually trick or treating. I know it's about like the right to trick or treat, but it's not about like Bobby's not trick or treating essentially. But we don't see that in this episode.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about just Halloween, like what it means to us and everything, which is kind of impressive. It's like a left turn I can dance to.
Yeah, I think this episode is like an all-timer for King of the Hill. I really do. I think it has a lot of great stuff going for it. Junie Harper is a wonderful one-off villain. This is one of the few times where Hank is very anti-authority in a great kind of way. It's a lot of fun. And I just think it's got a lot of good messages in it. So, yeah, honestly, one of my favorites that we've covered this year. All right. Well spoke, folks. That's the end of tonight's spooky selection. And our spirits grow weary. But they'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks. I tell you what, man, I'm dang old mine, man. Gonna get myself out of this box,